Hi. So, I love Alani's. Can't see it. But this one, we just randomly went to the Bougie Cousin store and they have purple cotton candy and we love to just taste test it. I saw you poke your head out. Did you also want to taste it?
Yeah.
Because I am low energy right now, y'all. Okay. I think I like this one better than the pink cotton candy one. Chad said that I can do 1 part juice, which I have Ediswan, to 2 parts Alani, but I guess that is up to how much caffeine you actually need. Making a mess over here. Okay. This is not 1-to-1 even. Maybe that'll do it. I just like to calm down like the fizzies a little bit, right? Okay, sure. We have a pretty chaotic morning going on. I've got a few things that I need to get done before I drop the child off with her father for the supper. So, what are we doing? Who am I? How did you get here? Welcome back to Gnomes and Novels. My name is Delinda, your mood reading bestie, and we are going to do a book haul. I don't know what this is, but we're going to do it. We're just riding with it. So the way I plan to do my book hauls on this channel is quarterly. I don't feel like I buy enough books monthly to set up all the things and be like, here's this, here's this. So I think quarterly is going to be my jam, and I'm okay with that. They are sitting right here waiting to be shown off. As I'm looking, yes, these are all my purchases. Some of them, nope, I did not do a book outlet, so I did not get that most recent book outlet. Most of these are actually pre-orders. The thing, please don't shut me. Pre-orders are good. They have their pros. For me, I forget about them, and then I'm like, wait, what is this extra charge that just happened on my bank account? Or, those kinds of things. So I don't pre-order often. Some of these I have read and I was like, oh my gosh, I liked it, or have read these authors' other books, so I am aware. And then some of them are just pretty cover buys because we deserve nice things. We deserve to treat ourselves. So let's get started. There is no order. There is no order to this. I will try and put series together if I can. I should have had some sort of order, if we're being honest. Okay, we finally have some sort of organization over here. I'm going to start with the first set of books that I can actually remember doing a pre-order for, because I was like, oh my gosh, these new covers are absolutely stunning. This is the New Haven series by J.L. Seegers. This first book is Restore Me, and stunning. I know I have mentioned this in my first vlog, books that I have loved or loving lately. This is fantastic. And then I also they are connected. The next character love story that we are following, I believe, is the friend or sister. I didn't look, but it is split into 3. We're going to scoot you back just a smidge because you do not need to be that close. So this one is split into 3 parts, and we have Revive Me. No. Cursive can be a little hard to read. This is Revive Me, and we have part 1, part 2, part 3. So we have part 1. Beautiful. And then I think this one was, yep. Part 2 is, part 1 is the act. Part 2 is the affair. And then part 3 is the apology. So look, Restore Me, I finished it, and I finally got my 3rd part for this one, so I can go ahead and start this and binge it, because this is a 500-page romance. And I loved all 500 pages of this. So this one is a love after loss story. Our main character, Sloane, lost her husband and the love interest is the husband's best friend. I know that sounds sketchy. We don't do that, right? But how they both process their individual forms of grief with like the loss of her husband and then his best friend on top of other things that he was dealing with and grew through in this story, it really like makes it all worth it. So I am very excited to get to this part of the New Haven series. And then there is another one. I don't know. I'll put it here. But there is another book, and I think that might be the final in this New Haven series. And I believe that is just one book. So I'm not sure why this one, Mal and Chris, I don't know why they got 3 books, but I'm here for it. And then I'm not really sure when we're just going to cover, but I have been seeing Theo of Golden around for some time. I think this one, what I know about it is it's an old man and some art. Let's see. One spring morning, a stranger arrives in the small southern city of Golden. No one knows where he has come from or why. His name is Theo, and he asks a lot more questions than he answers. Theo visits a local coffee shop where 92 pencil portraits hang on the walls, portraits of the people of Golden, done by a local artist. Okay, I do, yeah, art. And actually this just reminded me of something else come back. So I am excited. I know this is like, I don't want to say it's like a mystery, but obviously we have these portraits and Theo is going to go through some sort of personal reflection on his connection to possibly these portraits. So I'm not going to read anymore. I'm excited for this one. And these next 2 books are by indie author Liv Arnett, and we have Between the Waves and The Long Way Home. And I do believe these are loosely connected. It says book 1 and book 2 of the Invisible String series, so I don't know how connected they actually are. But I saw Liv post a quote about this one on TikTok, Instagram, one of those. And it was extremely thought-provoking as well as emotionally.
Yeah, I'm watching you lick the door. These dogs.
Emotionally gut-wrenching. We are dealing with some more grief and loss. I believe this one, the main character, Margot, lost her husband, fiance, and she is still dealing with that to the point where she has, reclused herself. She is she's limited her social interactions with her friends and family. And so I want to say this, I don't think this necessarily takes place in a weekend, but she is invited to a friend's bachelorette party and she is like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. And then she meets the love interest somewhere in this town where the bachelorette party is taking place. And the quotes that she shared, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, they were just absolutely beautiful. So I have started to read this on my Kindle, very slow moving. So then I bought the physical and then I was like, well, if I buy one, I have to buy the second one. Duh. So I have highlighted quite a bit on my Kindle. I don't remember how far. I think I got about 10% into this one. So this one is definitely going to be another like very heavy emotional story. And then The Long Way Home. Yeah, this is another heavy emotional one. Literally the first line on the back says, Rachel thought she buried her first love alongside her brother. I don't remember who Rachel was in this one. So she's connected somehow. For the last 4 years, Rachel has spent her time becoming exactly who everyone needs her to be. The dependable daughter, the easy girlfriend, the strong survivor, the supportive best friend, maybe. But when she walks into her best friend's wedding and locks eyes with Rhett, her carefully constructed world starts to fracture. Her brother's best friend. So again, I don't know where or how they're connected. I think maybe it's a friend story from here. But once I get into it, I will absolutely let you know. I am actually very excited about this one. So Crow Talk by Eileen Garvin. I just read The Music of Bees. And that was a story that I was completely shocked by. I do plan on buying it. I don't think I did, but I did buy this one off Pango. What I really enjoyed about Music of Bees was it follows 3 characters who they didn't know that they kind of needed the community that they formed. And it does take place on I think it's called a bee farm. And the main character is an older woman who I have a lot of books that deal with losing a husband. I've never been married. I don't know why I have all these books about this topic. So she did lose her husband. She inherited a bee farm. She helps these other two point of views with, they've got their own struggles. One, I think, just got out of jail for something that he did. And then another one had an accident. He is younger. He, I think, is like early 20s in the story. There was an accident that happened in his teens. I believe it was his junior or senior year. And he is now paralyzed from the waist down. And so all three of them, again, it's a found family story. They come together and help out this bee farm. There are some talks about, we would call it big pharma, but for like the farming people, the farming community, I'm not really sure what they would call it. Pesticides and those kinds of things, toxins, bad things for their farming spaces. I really liked it. And then she just came out with, it's like the Season of Bees Yep. And that one follows one of the POVs from A Music of Bees. So I am Bee Season. That's what it is. So I am excited to get to Bee Season. That one is a new release this year. I'm excited. But then I saw that, getting back to what I actually bought, I saw that she wrote Crow Talk, and I just really enjoy these covers. It's like a painted vibe. This is my style this year, and I am here for it. Eileen Garvin returns with a moving story of hope, healing, and unexpected friendship set amid the wild natural beauty of the Pacific Northwest. So Frankie and Anne would seem to have nothing in common. Frankie is a lonely ornithologist. Hey now, struggling to salvage her dissertation on the spotted owl following a rift with her advisor. Anne is an Irish musician, far from home and family, raising her 5-year-old son, Aiden, who refuses to speak. At Beauty Bay, a community of summer homes nestled on the shores of June Lake in the remote foothills of Mount Adams, it's off-season with most houses shuttered for the fall. But Frankie Adrift returns to the rundown caretaker's cottage that has been in the hardworking O'Neill family for generations, a beloved place and a constant reminder of the family she has lost. And Anne, in the wake of a tragedy that has disrupted her career and silenced her music, has fled to the neighboring house, a showy summer home owned by her husband's wealthy family. When Frankie finds an injured baby. Jesus! When Frankie finds an injured baby crow in the forest, little does she realize that the charming bird will bring all three lost souls, Frankie, Anne, and Aiden, together on a journey towards hope, healing, and rediscovering joy. So I am excited. I have a few more books from Pango. I enjoy Pango. They are gently used books. It's a online gently used bookstore, books sold by other readers. So think Half Priced or one of those other gently used bookstores online. Not sponsored. I believe I have to say those things now. I am not, but I do love Pango. So these two I also got from Pango. Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. I've read maybe one other book. I know Jodi is a heavy hitter, but when I will say, when I saw this book originally, I didn't think it was this big. I didn't think it was this thick of a book. What I know about this one, I think this is, there's a baby in a hospital. Maybe there's a swap. Maybe there's a kidnapping. But I do plan on annotating the heck out of this story. Okay, so we have Ruth, who is a labor and delivery nurse at a Connecticut hospital with more than 20 years experience. So she sounds like she's got her ish together. During her shift, Ruth begins a routine checkup on a newborn, only to be told a few minutes later that she has been reassigned to another patient. Ooh, okay. The parents are white supremacists and don't want Ruth, because guess what? Ruth is Black, y'all, to touch her child. The hospital complies with their request, but the next day the baby goes into cardiac distress while Ruth is alone in the nursery. Does she obey orders or does she intervene? Ruth hesitates before performing CPR and as a result is charged with a serious crime. Kennedy, a white public defender, takes her case but gives unexpected advice. Kennedy insists that mentioning race in the courtroom is not a winning strategy. Conflicted by Kennedy's counsel, Ruth tries to keep life as normal as possible for her family, especially her teenage son, as the case becomes a media sensation, as they always do. As the trial moves forward, Ruth and Kennedy must gain each other's trust and come to see that what they've been taught their whole lives about others and themselves might be wrong. I'm going to annotate the heck out of this. Yeah, yep. And then, it was so cutely wrapped and everything. It's still in the bubble wrap. I have read this one, and this, I believe, is book 2 of the Compass series by Brittany Cherry. Oh, yes. And these ones are like the new covers also. The indie covers, okay, here's my like issue. I don't like the sexy men on the covers, if you know. They just don't do nothing for me. And then like they're so cringy. Like I don't want that. I have one. Nope, let me not lie. I do have the Long Shot and Hook Shot by Kennedy Ryan, because I don't like the flower. I don't feel like the flower really did that justice. So I do have the indies of those. And if I have forgotten other indie books that have the awkward man candy on the cover, you probably don't look at it enough. I did really, really love Eastern Lights. This one, something about, I think his name was Connor. Something about Connor in this story had me swooning. The first story, Southern Storms, I believe, it was okay. That one was a Friends to Lovers. This one is like a billionaire and she has a terminal illness, I believe. But I will say, I think I need to try Brittany Cherry's books physically instead of via audio, because the audio narrators they don't do it. She gives a certain description of her characters. From the ones that I have read, I believe she does like interracial relationships. They don't read that way. That's my own tiff to it. But yes, this one is, I once met a man on a cold Halloween night. He dressed as a superhero and I dressed in red. For one night, I was his break from reality and he was a temporary fix for my broken heart. 2 years later, I was given the opportunity of a lifetime to become a senior editor at one of the biggest magazine companies. The only catch, nail an exclusive interview with New York's finest bachelor, Connor. Connor doesn't do interviews. So there was like that cute, like, oh, I really want to get this girl back. Or, there was this one night that we had and she was amazing. I don't know where she is. I don't know who she is. And then they happen to meet each other for this interview. And so that's where it kind of takes off. And like I said, I really, really enjoyed this one. Southern Storms was okay. And then Eastern something, I DNF'd it because I was like, no. That one was the man of the family was dying. I think it was a dad. I don't think it was a grandfather. A father was dying and he leaves a large fortune to his estranged son, who like doesn't even come around. The female main character, I forget how she's loosely connected. I think she might have been like a caretaker or something, but the only way that you can get this money is if you settle down and marry my son for like a year. And I guess it's supposed to be like you deserve happiness too kind of stories. But as soon as them things started to happen, I was like, this story is not for me. No, I don't like this at all. So I will see what the fourth and final book is in this series. And if I am feeling the plot, then I will maybe try and read it physically. If not, then we have one out of 4 books for that one. While I was back visiting my mom, they have a half price books. Here where I live, we don't have one, which just makes it's so sad. But I'm not far. So I went and found 2 books and this one was on the clearance. It is We Were Here. And I was just really interested in this one because it says, when it happened, Miguel was sent to juvie. The judge gave him a year in a group home, said he had to write in a journal so some counselor could try to figure out how he thinks. The judge had no idea that he'd actually done Miguel a favor. Ever since it happened, Miguel's mom can't even look him in the eye. Any home besides his would be a better place to live. But Miguel didn't bet on meeting Rondell or Mong or any of what happened after they broke out. He only thought about Mexico and getting to the border to where he could start over, forget his mom, forget his brother, forget himself. Life usually doesn't work out how you think it will, though, and most of the time running away is the quickest path right back to where you're running from. I wanted to read it. That sold me. Like, yes. So got that. And then Soldier Boy. I feel like, I don't think I read this one, or not read this one, but I don't think this is the person who I have previously heard about. I remember back in, I want to say it was high school, maybe it was like my early years of college, there was a presentation of other child soldiers and someone who I believe was involved with Joseph Kony. So this is one of those stories about Ricky Richard Anwar, who at 14 was forced to fight as a child soldier in the guerrilla army under Joseph Kony. So this is not nonfiction. This is a form of fiction, but I hope most of you know or are aware, stop licking the stand, of the child soldiers of Uganda. So that is what this story is. And then they got me. I really have stopped with Book of the Month, but they got me with this one. I had like a coupon to come back, and I thought, what I thought it was actually not what it was. So I thought it was like, here's this coupon, get this book for super discounted. Not the case. So I ended up just getting this one, and I am officially like done with Book of the Month. This one is Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. I believe Veronica Roth is that one dystopian author that we all know and love and grew up with. And I think this is a duology. I think this is going to be the first of a duology. So let us see. The daughter of a bounty hunter, the knight sworn to protect her, the prophecy that destroys their lives. Elegy On did not ask her destiny to find her. She is happy with her life as a soldier, defending her small country from the Talusar, a powerful nation that worships a deadly fever. A fever that blesses half of its victims with mysterious gifts. Okay. But then Elegy is summoned to hear a prophecy. Her and the most ruthless of the Talusar generals, Rava Vidar, brought face to face. They learn that one of them will lead their people to victory over the other, but they don't know which. And at the center of both their fates, a man who Elegy is told she will fall in love with. Okay. I don't really know what any of that meant.
I know some of these words.
Maybe she has to get to this person. Maybe she has to defend this person. Maybe a possible even love triangle, because that's what that sounded like. So we'll see. We will see. I don't think I pre-ordered this one. I could be wrong. I don't think, but we're gonna cover that because we don't support the bougie cousin. Actually, she can't even be a cousin because we don't really like her. So what was her name? What her name, like Bird or something? No, Bird was the cousin. That husband. What was that husband? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. This one, Restless the Starling. This is book 2 in the, I don't know what trilogy this is. Devney. Big Dev. I wish they would put the series somewhere that like we could find it. Anywho'ser, book 2, Restless the Starling. I'm pretty sure most of the people know about it. Book 1 is somewhere. I'm not going to go find it. But I enjoyed book 1 when I read it. We have 2 sisters. One is supposed to be married off to benefit the land and the kingdom. The other sister is kind of just like a placeholder. She is just there. Well, something goes sideways. And then that sister actually ends up being the one to go off, get married, and do all the things. And on this journey, we meet the men's, we meet the king, and then his guardian, and they have to travel across the lands to get back to his kingdom. There is a lot of magical creatures in this. That's what I know, like a lot of the readers are really, really enjoying, just like the expanse of this world and the creatures and just like this detail, because this is her first fantasy. This is her first step into fantasy. And for someone who writes mostly romance, I love her romance books. I'm working through it right now. But this was very good, in my opinion, for it to be like the first step intro into her fantasy. So kudos, all of that. I have not read this one yet. I don't know why. I think book 3 has been announced. that word. So maybe once we get a cover, then I'll pick it up. I'm not in a rush to really like pick this up just yet, but I have it. Now, these are a pre-order that I'm no longer pre-ordering. I will just walk my happy hips to the store and I will just pick them up. I'm not sure how this will look on the camera, but it's the Bridge Kingdom. Those are just, I love this. Ever since I realized that you can there's a landscape on here, because Danielle L. Jensen did it on the Instagram. And that is just going to be so pretty. Okay, so we have the Bridge Kingdom, oopsies, that I have read and I really, really enjoyed. And, they're out now, so I guess we can. Oh, Laura. Just, that's so pretty. So pretty. This is a good purchase for me. I don't always get this excited about my pre-orders, but yeah. Good order on this one. So here's the thing. It is a 6-book series, 3 sets of duologies. They are interconnected. She has even put out like an omnibus reading order of like how you can read and intertwine. And I guess that's how she had initially wrote this story, which in my opinion is crazy, because how do you even have like that much bandwidth to know where something is, to put it there on purpose? Like, so a lot of it is a bit repetitive. What I will say, books 1 and 2, very, very good. Really, really liked it. Let me show off 2. So this one is the Traitor Queen. And we saw that one. And then those are those. And then let's see what the fuck. If you haven't read the books, well, then just don't fast forward. But oof, we got some steamy moments here. So that was book 1 and 2. They follow is Laura and something. What I will tell you, the first like chapter oh my word, the intro to this one will literally knock you off your feet. And I was like, yep. Let me just go ahead and read it. Aaron, that's what it is. So I will read you the synopsis of just the Bridge Kingdom, and it will literally get you started. And then book 3 follows. I read 3. I still need to read 4, 5, and 6. But book 3 and 4 follow a brother. And then 5 and 6 follow a sister. So Bridge Kingdom is, let's see, a warrior princess trained in isolation. Lara is driven by 2 certainties. The first is that King Arn of the Bridge Kingdom is her enemy, and the second is that she'll be the one to bring him to his knees. The only route through a storm-ravaged world, the Bridge Kingdom of Ithacana enriches itself and deprives its rivals, including Lara's homeland. So when she's sent there as a bride under the guise of peace, Lara is prepared to do whatever it takes to fracture its impenetrable defenses and the defenses of its king. Yet, as she infiltrates her new home and gains a deeper understanding of the war to possess the bridge, Lara begins to question whether she's the hero or the villain, as her feelings for her husband transform from frosty hostility to fierce passion. Lara must choose which kingdom she'll save and which she'll destroy. So yes, in this, there is a bridge. It's like a bridge between worlds, essentially, and you're blocking the bridge from the goods and other products that are coming in and out to supply the rest of the surrounding kingdoms. So that's essentially what this whole thing is all about. Who owns the bridge? So, like I said, book 1 and 2 follow Laura and Aaron. I don't have 4. I think 4 just was announced at I got that email. I was like, do you want to pre-order? No, I don't. I got this one. I was a little upset. I'm not upset to the point where like I'm going to return it, because it's not that big of a deal for me. But and I wouldn't even say it's like super, super damaged, but for a brand new book, there's some just mild. Not even going to do it. So the inadequate heir is book 3. And then we have the Endless War is book 4. The Twisted Throne is 5, and the Tempest Blade is 6. So 3 and 4, like I said, follow a love interest and the brother of Laura. And then 5 and 6 follow the love interest, and I believe it's the sister of King Arin, if I remember that correctly. So I do think, though, because book 3 is very, very long compared to the other ones, I do think I'm going to finish the series, and then not now, not next year, maybe not even the year after that, maybe in a few years, I'm going to come back and do the like interconnected reading that Danielle L. Jensen has put out for this series, because it looks like a good time. And it's one of those where it's the same timeline as these, just a different point of view. So there is a lot of repetition between these two and this one, which is kind of why I haven't really picked up book 4 yet. So, but we forgot to show off, and then she is orange, and I do think that they are, I think it's going to be like a rainbow situation. That'll be pretty. And then she said, "Ooh, I need you to turn around because you can't see this one. Turn around, close your eyes. Ooh, yeah, no, you can't see these ones. You can't see that one. I'm excited." And these are, I would say, as far as like, if you like romantasy, this is a great intro into romantasy, because it is a 50-50 of plot and politics and world building, 50% romance. So if you were looking for something that is like a true fanro, yes, because I consider romantic fantasy more romance than fantasy. This is truly like a 50-50 split of fantasy and romance. So if that's something that you are looking for, I would definitely recommend starting with The Bridge Kingdom. And then the last two of this haul, these are completely cover buys. Have no idea what they are about, but they are absolutely stunning. This way, stunning. Indigo and Anima. From the author, that's the author of another book that I've not heard of, Rosemary Okafor. Look at those. Oh, yes. Okay. What are they about? Let's see here. And it is just a duology. So Indigo is, as a boy in a small village, oh Lord, Diego vowed to become a doctor and return to make Chiagozi his wife, but dreams are fragile, so he is forced to grow into a man feared and hated by many, a king forged from chaos and a survivor shaped by greed and ruthlessness. By the time he comes back to her, Chiagozi is no longer the girl who once believed in fairy tales. She is a woman suffocating in a marriage built on fear, silence, and endurance. When fate reunites them, the spark reignites into a forbidden inferno, but loving her could cost him everything, yet walking away could cost him his soul. As corruption threatens Nigerian's future and the darkest men fight for the nation's crown, Diego must decide how far he will go to protect the power he has bled for, and Chiagozi must make the most radical choice a woman like her can make, to live and to love on her own terms. And then, okay, so yes, I didn't know if this is Chiagozi, or if this is like what is it called? Interconnected. When desire still burns, the past still aches, and every touch threatens ruin. Chiagozi does the unthinkable. She chooses herself, but the boy she once loved is gone. Okay, so we're just gonna stop. Because I don't know what that means. So, very excited. I mean, absolutely beautiful covers here. So, we made it. We finished. We survived our first book haul. I hope you enjoyed some of these books, if not all of these books. If any of these books are on your radar as well, please make sure to let me know. If you made it this far, let's do a sewing emoji, if they have it. I don't even know. Or leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to. Until next time, happy reading.
Please go finish. Did you put your stuff in your bag? Your bathroom stuff is in your bag. You washed your face. You put lotion on. Then why is the bathroom light still on?
Elegy. Elegy on didn't ask for her destiny. Let's try that again.